I'm on my way to my Father, but I will return.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. Assalamu alaikum. I am Karriem Allah, and I am directly from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who sits on the throne of power and dominion over the universe. Thank you for taking time to view this very important message. In the Holy Quran, in Surah 9, Allah asked the people a very serious question. Do you think that you will be left alone while Allah has not yet known those of you who struggle hard, and take not anyone as an intimate friend besides Allah and his messenger and the believers? And Allah is aware of what you do. This verse shows that Allah is very much aware of our actions. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught the reality of God as a human being who is supreme among all human beings on the earth. Therefore, the title Allah refers to the one who is supreme among us and is thus responsible for governing creation. This is affirmed in the Holy Quran. In Surah 55, it states, everyone on it passes away, it meaning the earth, and there endures forever the person of thy Lord, the Lord of glory and honor. This is from the Maulana Muhammad Ali translation of the Quran. The Abdullah Yusuf Ali states it slightly different. All that is on earth will perish, but will abide forever the face of thy Lord, full of majesty, bounty, and honor. Now spirits do not have faces, and spirits are not persons. A person is a physical or material entity possessing a mind and a face. The Supreme Being's extraordinary power enables him to control every atom that makes up the universe. Again, from the Holy Quran. In Surah 10, it states, and thou art not engaged in any affair, and thou recitest not concerning it any portion of the Quran, and you do no work, but we are witness of you when you are engaged therein. And not the weight of an atom in the earth or in the heaven is hidden from thy Lord, nor anything less than nor greater, but all is in a clear book. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says of Master Fard Muhammad, who is the Supreme Being, that he can listen to the thinking of every human being on the earth at the same time. And just because you may not be able to doesn't mean he can. He can also direct our thinking to that which he desires. He is the one who built the great mother plane we discussed in the previous message. Now this leads to our continued discussion on the crucifixion of the Messiah, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, because this is the critical time in which we now live. Every so often I read the comments that's on YouTube, rather, on some of the messages of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. And many of those comments are extremely negative. It's clear that those who refer to the Honorable Louis Farrakhan as anti-Semitic, as anti-gay, as a racist, and other demeaning names, that they overlook the fact that he is, as the Messiah, a divine warner who has explicitly informed us of Allah's intended wrath on the United States for her evils, which no one of sane mind can deny. The sanctity of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's integrity therefore rests in whether Allah's judgment comes to pass, and not what people think or say about him. Again, from the Holy Quran, in Surah 20, it states, "And they say, why does he not bring us a sign from his Lord? Has not there come to them a clear evidence of what is in the previous books? Say, every one of us is waiting. So wait. Soon you will come to know who is the follower of the even path and who goes aright." Well, today we are witnessing unprecedented destruction by fires, floods, hurricanes, and tornadoes, with no let up in sight. We are also witnessing unprecedented blunders by political leaders of this country, which is causing enormous suffering in once lucrative markets and complete alienation from the nations of the world. Now, when we look at the prophetic narrative of Jesus in the Gospels, specific events are fulfilled during the distinct tenures of Master Fard Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan among the people. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan taught a profound message on this subject titled The Four Jesuses in 2001. You should avail yourselves to that lecture or that message. It is available for you to view on YouTube. Now, even in that message, he did not go deeply into his function as one of those Jesuses. This is what I am doing and have been doing. We cannot examine Jesus and ignore the Christ function. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan fulfills the most essential aspects of the narrative of Jesus regarding Jesus' ascension to the throne of God and the circumstances that lead to his departure to the Father. Let us consider one of these circumstances. Now, in the Gospel of John, Jesus alerts his followers about the harsh persecution they will face during his crucifixion and during the time that he is away from them. In chapter 16, again, the Gospel of John, it states, Jesus is stating to them, "These things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. They shall put you out of the synagogues, or mosques, or temples. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God service. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. But these things I have told you, that when the time shall come, ye may remember that I told you of them. And these things I said not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you." Now, the Nation of Islam did not fulfill this prophecy regarding Jesus when Master Fard Muhammad departed from among the people in 1934. Neither was it fulfilled when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed to be with Master Fard Muhammad in 1975. In both of their departures, there was some hypocrisy that broke out, some skirmishes, and some deaths, but not like is written here in the prophecy of Jesus' departure. So let's deal with verse 4 first, because it relates to the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's gradual self-realization of his divine function. The phrase, "And these things I said not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you," alludes to Jesus' growth into the knowledge of his divine function while he is among the people. Now, this is my 38th year in the Nation of Islam. And those of you who have been in the Nation of Islam or aware of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's message since that time and even beyond, we can all attest to the fact that what he has been saying about himself, particularly in the last 4 years, he did not say of himself when he started in 1977. Neither did he say these things in the 1980s or the early 1980s. Why not? He rose to rebuild the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad out of love for him and his people. At that time, he, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, did not know that he was any more special than anyone else was as it related to the fulfillment of the messianic prophecies. So Allah brought him along into certain realizations as he journeyed along in his work, living through the lives of the prophets described in the Quranic and biblical narratives. Now, the standard opening that I use to open up my messages shows what the Honorable Louis Farrakhan knows about his destiny and his identity. We're going to listen to it again. Listen.
I'm on my way to my Father, but I will return.
Now let us return to John 16. Again in verse 2, Jesus informs his followers, "They shall put you out of the synagogues. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God service." Well, this indicates that people will not consider the Nation of Islam to be associated with Allah or anything divine for that matter. What will cause them to change their view of the Nation of Islam and now seek to drive the believers from their places of worship and to kill us, them? Will the satanic leaders attack on the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's private life through their mass news medias and so-called justice system have something to do with this? That is the change of their view of the Nation of Islam. This has much to do with why the disciples fled from Jesus during his crucifixion. The people were after the disciples based on accusations that women made against Jesus and against some of them. This is stated in Matthew 26. So let us take a part of the narrative. Now Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane. He's praying, he's suffering because he knows his departure is imminent. So the authorities come while the disciples are sleeping or were sleeping. They apprehend Jesus and the disciples scamper. Some of them watch Jesus from afar off be persecuted. Now let's pick up on verse 69. Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel or damsel came unto him, saying, "Thou also was with Jesus of Galilee," like pointing him out. But he denied before them all, saying, "I know not what thou sayest." And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, "This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth." And again, he, Peter, denied with an oath, "I do not know the man." What is a damsel? It refers to a young woman or girl or a maiden. So two young women pointed Peter out and accused him of being associated with Jesus. And Peter denied Jesus, even though he had claimed beforehand he would never deny Jesus. I hope you're listening. Now, the writers of the Gospels had a reason for placing women at the center of the crucifixion that caused the disciples to scamper. Do you think that this will not be fulfilled today? If the Nation of Islam is falsely portrayed as an immoral group of promiscuous savages, both men and women, who masquerade as righteous persons, then it is sensible to understand why many people might become desirous of harming the Nation of Islam, even though these same people are sinners and worse. So knowing this, what should our aim be? Well, the goal or the objective is given in the Gospel of John, 16th chapter, the 3rd verse. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. So beating this prophecy or bettering it is contingent upon how well the people learn of the identity of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as the one who sits on the throne, and of the identity of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan as his Christ, and why Allah ordered the domestic life in their lives and in the lives of the women who became their spouses. Thank you for taking time to listen to this message. May Allah continues to bless you and your family. Assalamu alaikum.